The arena felt alive, breathing, vibrating, pulsing with a heat that could melt steel. Fans from all corners of Mexico packed the stadium so tightly that the air itself seemed ready to explode. They weren't just here for a fight. They were here for a moment that would carve itself into the bones of boxing history. In the red corner stood Saul Canelo Alvarez, the young prodigy whose fists carried precision, instinct, and the hunger of a man destined for greatness. In the opposite corner stood Alfonso Gomez, older, seasoned, carved by hardship, a fighter who carried scars like medals. He wasn't here for glory. He was here to prove a truth the world often forgets: that experience can shake even the strongest kingdom. As they walked toward the ring, every camera lens tightened, every cheer sharpened. Canelo's expression didn't change, not a flicker of doubt, not a shadow of hesitation. His jaw was set like stone. His eyes were cold, focused, tuned like a weapon. Gomez, meanwhile, carried the heavy silence of a man who had fought life inside and outside the ring. A man who had tasted defeat, tasted pain, and came here to rewrite his story. But deep inside, a whisper of fear lingered, because facing Canelo meant facing a storm that could swallow everything. When the referee called them to the center, the world seemed to hold its breath. Their eyes locked, no blink, no tremor, two lions sizing the other's soul. Gomez saw youth, power, and danger staring back at him. Canelo saw resistance, pride, and experience, but none of it scared him. As they stepped back to their corners, Canelo smirked, not arrogance, pure, dangerous confidence. Gomez saw it, and a crack of doubt trembled through him. The bell loomed like a death sentence. The crowd leaned forward. Commentators whispered. The tension hung heavier than the gloves they wore. When the bell finally rang, it wasn't just sound. It was a spark that ignited the battlefield. And everyone knew this wasn't going to be a fight. This was going to be a war where one man's destiny rises and another man's legacy burns. The instant the bell rang, Canelo came forward like a shadow taking shape, smooth, patient, calculating. He didn't rush. He didn't swing wildly. He stalked. Every movement told a story of discipline, forged through years of grinding inside Mexican gyms. Gomez circled cautiously, trying to find rhythm before the storm hit him. But Canelo controlled the ring, like he owned every inch. His footwork was silent, steady, predatory. Every time Gomez blinked, Canelo seemed an inch closer, and that closeness felt like a knife pressed against the throat. The first meaningful punch came not with noise, but with precision. A sharp left hook that cracked against Gomez's guard, sending vibrations through his arms. The crowd gasped, not because it was powerful, but because it carried a warning. Canelo wasn't testing the waters. He was measuring the target. Gomez tried firing back, launching combinations that once worked against lesser opponents. But against Canelo, they bounced off air. He slipped, rolled, stepped aside, always 1 second ahead. Pressure began building like steam inside a sealed chamber. Gomez tried to push forward, hoping to disrupt Canelo's rhythm. But the moment he stepped in, Canelo struck. Another left hook, then a straight right, followed by a short uppercut that sneaked through the guard. Gomez stumbled slightly, not from pain, but shock. He realized Canelo wasn't just strong, he was terrifyingly accurate. Still, Gomez was no ordinary fighter. He steadied himself, dipped low, and fired a right hand that finally connected flush on Canelo's jaw. The crowd erupted. For a split second, hope surged. But Canelo didn't back up. He didn't shake his head. He didn't even blink. He stepped forward, eyes darker than before, as if Gomez had unlocked something inside him. Something cold, ruthless, hungry. Gomez felt it, a chill down his spine. He had wounded the lion, not enough to hurt him, but enough to trigger his instinct. Canelo moved closer, cutting off angles, trapping Gomez against the ropes. Every second there felt like drowning. And as Canelo raised his gloves again, Gomez understood. This wasn't pressure. This was suffocation, and the real punishment was just beginning. Gomez's heartbeat thundered inside his chest, echoing louder than the roaring crowd. Sweat poured down his face as he tried to regain distance, but Canelo followed like a shadow fused to his soul. There was no escape. Every time Gomez tried to angle out, Canelo stepped in front, smooth, patient, merciless. Gomez fired jabs, hoping to keep the storm at bay. But Canelo's head movement made the punches look like they were slicing through smoke. He'd slip a jab by a hair, then fire back a compact right hand that snapped Gomez's head slightly backward. The audience sensed something shifting. Canelo's shots grew heavier, not wild, but deliberate. Each punch felt like it carried a message, a reminder: you cannot hide from me. Gomez tried creating chaos, throwing flurries against the ropes, hoping to land something meaningful, but Canelo absorbed them calmly, catching shots on his gloves, rolling his shoulders, never losing balance. Then, when the opening appeared, a split-second gap, Canelo unleashed a vicious body shot. The sound echoed like wood cracking. Gomez's face twisted, his knees wobbled. For a moment, his world tilted. But pride, Mexican pride, held him upright. He backed away, breathing through pain, fighting not to show weakness. But Canelo saw it, and that was all he needed. Canelo marched forward again, throwing another left hook to the liver, this one even crueler. Gomez crumpled slightly, clutching his side, breath trapped in his lungs. The crowd roared as Canelo launched a four-punch combination: jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Gomez tried to cover up, but cracks had formed in the armor. Still, Gomez refused to fall. He answered with grit, swinging wildly, hoping for a miracle punch. His right hand flew toward Canelo's chin, but Canelo slipped under it with inhuman timing. Then he countered, an uppercut, so sharp it jolted Gomez's head backwards like a snapped branch. The momentum was slipping. The ropes felt closer. The ring felt smaller, and Gomez's hope felt thinner. By the end of the round, he staggered to his corner, chest burning, ribs screaming, vision blurring. Canelo, meanwhile, walked calmly to his stool, no heavy breathing, no panic, only a predator waiting for the final kill. Everyone in the arena felt it. The end was approaching like a storm. The fourth round began with a silence that felt almost unnatural. Even the crowd quieted, sensing the weight of what was coming. Gomez stepped out of his corner slowly, breathing hard, his body stiff from the relentless punishment he had endured. Canelo, in contrast, moved with effortless calm. He didn't rush, he didn't attack recklessly. He simply advanced, measured, confident, a hunter who already smelled victory. Gomez tried once more to jab his way into rhythm. But his punches lacked the speed and sharpness they had at the beginning. Fatigue had tied weights to his arms. Every jab felt like it took a lifetime to reach Canelo, who slipped them with surgical ease. Then, as Gomez overextended slightly, Canelo struck with the precision of a sniper, a brutal right hand straight to the chin. Gomez's legs betrayed him, buckling as his balance wavered dangerously. The crowd gasped. The commentators fell silent. Canelo stepped in for the finish. He hammered a left hook to the ribs. Gomez's body folded inward. Then came a right uppercut that detonated against his chin. Gomez stumbled backward into the ropes, struggling to stay upright. Canelo didn't hesitate. He unleashed a flurry. Tight, calculated combinations aimed to end the war. A left hook smashed through the guard. A right hand followed instantly. Then another. Gomez's head snapped back with each blow. The referee watched closely. Tension etched into his face. Gomez tried to fire back, but his punches floated through the air like exhausted whispers. There was no power left, only heart, and even that was fading. Then Canelo landed the shot that sealed the night, a monstrous left hook. Gomez collapsed, his body sinking to the canvas in slow motion, as if gravity had been waiting for this exact moment. The crowd erupted into a thunderous roar, but underneath that celebration was a feeling of awe, because they had just witnessed pure dominance. Gomez pushed himself up, showing the heart of a warrior, but the referee waved his hands. Enough. The battle was over. The war had been decided. Canelo raised his gloves, his expression calm, almost emotionless. Another victory. Another step toward greatness. Gomez, battered yet proud, nodded in respect. He had been beaten, not by luck, not by chance, but by a force too sharp, too strong, too destined. And with that, the arena exploded in celebration, knowing they had witnessed a chapter of boxing history, etched forever in blood, courage, and undeniable power.